to the associated guest. I, as always, am your host, Alpha Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today we have the good, the bad, and the tardy. And then, if we have enough time, we'll get into another story. This is going to be a very heavy, I know I do a lot of Steven Crowder. Again, the man comes with the facts. But let's get into it, starting with the good.
Pam Bondi seems to be more interested in the limelight than in doing the job. There's a distinct lack of organization or a lack of concern for being honest. Uh-oh.
Question for the crew. Should Trump fire Pam Bondi for this giant flop?
Yes.
So,
100%, absolutely.
I don't know who would be better. Anyone.
This giant flop? No, for a lot of reasons, yes.
It's kind of
And this is something that should bring us all together. This is something that should bring the left, right, and center all together. Pam Bondi has been atrocious. And the reason the right should hate her is because she says a lot of lefty things, like hate speech isn't free speech. Shut the fuck up. You're the Attorney General. And I know I'm going to be shitting on women a lot today. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to be the case, but it is going to be the case. This isn't me shitting on all women. This is me just shitting on two women specifically and a certain group of a type of woman that is very apparent in the Western world. Let's continue.
like when Pam Bondi said, well, hate speech has no place. You realize she's not a conservative like you. You're like, oh, she's never thought of these things. Pam Bondi shouldn't have a job. Pam Bondi is the common denominator here that has been a problem. She's an embarrassment. She's been harming this administration. She has been from day one. When people think about the swamp, about corrupt politicians, there's a picture of Pam Bondi next to the definition in their mind. Pam Bondi ousted?
Oh, finally.
Okay, hold on. Let me see this.
Finally.
Guys, sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? Make sure you have a matriarch. Make sure that he keeps stuff in line in his family. And, you know, go find some more Brazilians. Okay, let's watch this.
Fired. She's out of her role. Now, where she goes next,
Yes.
that is
Who
a
cares?
question mark.
Hell.
This was the best news yesterday.
Meeting or the
You mean home?
conversation President Trump had with Bondi yesterday. He floated the idea of a judgeship as a potential landing place.
And let me just say, I really, really hope that they don't fire Tulsi Gabbard. I've always liked Tulsi Gabbard. I wanted her to be president in 2020 until she was ousted for going kamikaze on Kamala Harris. She's wonderful. She's great. I was really hoping for a Gabbard, Yang or Yang Gabbard 2020 presidency. I did not get that at all. But I got this, and I'll take it.
Place for Bondi, and
She's
in
going to
the
be a Fox News
interim
analyst.
period, while they are figuring out who is going to take over as Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will step into that role. So he will be serving in the interim. Pam Bondi, though, is out. We had already reported that she was in Florida. We have been talking about for the last several hours how in the last week, President Trump had been calling allies, asking about firing her, who should replace her. It doesn't seem as though they have someone specific in mind.
Which means she just had to go.
Yes. Among other
Well, you saw that article came out
people.
regarding the Epstein files, that the reason for a lot of redactions was coming straight from her.
Yes.
And there were arguments with Bongino and with Cash about that.
Yeah, she is the worst pick that he made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've said that since, I mean, pretty much a week after confirmation.
And that includes...
I said I refused to cover confirmation.
That's right, that's right.
Matt Gaetz is potentially being the guy in that position. Pam Bondi, I think, was a worse pick. And I'm no Gaetz fan. So.
Yeah, Pam Bondi, awful pick.
Awful
Yeah,
job,
me either.
too.
I wasn't a fan of the fact that he
we
picked
need
Gaetz.
to edit together a montage of how many times
I was
I've
interested when I
talked,
heard that he was
spoken
talking about Bondi, and then
poorly
I found out about her.
Pam Bondi.
And yeah, she's awful. She was awful, terrible, awful, so bad.
Because people have very short-term memories. I have been saying this for a long time, and I don't know who's going to replace her. I know some people say the devil, you know, but no, in this case, you'd have to try pretty hard to find worse than Pam Bondi.
Yeah, they're floating Lee Zeldin right now. That's one of the most prominent names. I don't know that, obviously. I think they're just kind of speculating right now. So we'll see. But listen,
I'll have to research Lee.
What are the two areas right now where Trump is having the most difficulty? Right, one is Iran, and he's got a very good messenger out there right now, and Marco Rubio doing a very good job. He can wrap that up in the next couple of weeks. Market will surge. People will go back to normal. They'll hopefully we can declare some victory and hopefully get some things actually done. If he puts somebody else in there and there's movement on the Epstein files, takes that off the table as well. And so the belligerent right that is becoming kind of a problem, all of a sudden those issues go
Lee Zeldin. I thought he said Lee's Eldon. I'm an idiot. Okay.
away to some degree, or at least get mollified. So I'm happy that he did this. This was a long time coming.
I will tell you this. It's not just that I don't like her, though I don't. It's not just that she has a bad track record. She does.
She does.
It's not just that she's not a conservative. She isn't.
It's not just that she's literally fucked up everything. Not a few things, not just the Epstein list. Everything. Everything this person has done has been a horrible failure. She's awful. She's terrible. I've done whole shows on how much I don't like her.
That Pam Bondi has proven herself with every given opportunity
Incompetent.
to be incapable of effective communication.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not possible with Pam Bondi. Think, okay, the Epstein binders.
Yeah.
Think of the interview. Just go, well, I
Oh my
didn't say this.
God.
No. What they're sitting on my desk.
Yeah.
They will shock you.
Tomorrow.
I look through them.
They will
tomorrow.
shock you.
Then you had all of those influencers, by the way, who were invited out and being used. That also means that she had complete disregard for those people who thought
Yeah.
or they were being sold a false bill of goods. Then, when she comes out and discusses the rules as far as anti-Semitic actual attacks,
Yeah.
I believe that's when she used the term hate speech.
Hate speech. So she's terrible on the First Amendment, doesn't even understand it.
She doesn't understand it. She hasn't thought about these issues. And if you
Second
look at
Amendment
her when she was there at the hearing, I think we compared her to Rubio and other people. She was awful, always claiming victim, having to go to prefab lines, getting facts wrong. She was incapable of communicating basic information, key facts that people need to know.
She don't know
that
what
were
words
directly
mean.
under the purview of her job description. When you look at people like Rubio, or you look at even people like J.D. Vance, right? Even say Pete Hegseth, they're able to at least freewheel on some other topics that maybe aren't within their job description because they haven't lived an asshole's life, because they've thought of these issues.
Well,
Pam Bondi wasn't able to do it with her own area of expertise. When you say dead weight, someone who is obviously very interested in being out there in the public sphere with the appearances on Fox News and being out there in the spotlight all the time, that's what she loved. Okay, that's her passion, and it's not even her strong suit. Every time Pam Bondi had the microphone and people were listening or watching, this administration was worse off for her having opened her mouth. Think about that for a second. And if there's any indictment on this administration that I think is a very, very valid one, it's that she has been there for far too long, likely maintained it with
He's fired better people for worse.
flattery or playing the political game.
for
That's
less.
how she has built her career. This is not a person who shares your values. This is not a person who is capable of critical thinking. And this has never been a person who is capable of effective communication in an era where that is key when dealing with a hostile media and leftist institutions. So could it be worse? It's technically possible, maybe plausible, but highly unlikely. A switch out of Pam Bondi is a good day for this administration, and it is a good day for America. Hey, if you're still watching this,
It's a wonderful day. Yesterday was an absolutely great day. No matter how bad your day was, if you didn't smile when you heard that Pam Bondi was fired, or maybe you're just now hearing it and I'm jump-starting this day. Free at last. Oh, my God. The bitch is gone. Anyway, speaking of dumb ladies who don't deserve their jobs, let's get into Ketanji Brown Jackson.
If you were born...
And again, this is not because they're women. This is because they're idiots who are bad at their job, and no one knows why they got their jobs. Judges like Ketanji Brown Jackson are the reason that, the Ukrainian lady from the bus got murdered. Oh my God, Irina Zarutska. Judges like that are the reason, and you'll hear why in a second. And if you still think that she's a good Supreme Court justice, we'll see. There's no hope for you if after what you hear her say, you still think that she's a good Supreme Court justice. She's not. Just because she believes the same as you does not mean she's good for a job. She's an idiot. She doesn't know what words mean. She doesn't know what the laws are. She can't possibly have any understanding than this. And this is a good example of why hiring someone just for inalienable traits that we can't control, whether it be race, gender, whatever, we need to hire the best person for the job. And the Supreme Court justice is supposed to be unpartisan. They always are. But you have to, and this is why even when you see them all voting the same way on something, it is because that is the way the law is to be interpreted. Judges are to interpret the laws, and that's it.
To everyone born on American soil. Birthright citizenship. Now, I want to be really clear about this. The left, and we're going to get to the Supreme Court, they want you to believe that if you are born here, even if your parents are illegal, you are automatically a citizen, that anchor babies are a thing, that it's always been a thing, that birthright citizenship was meant to extend to anybody who happens to have their foot on this soil and have a baby. It's not true. It's inaccurate. We can walk through it, and we will, though we've done a more in-depth segment, the recent judgments, the recent opinions expressed, which are nonsensical, muddy the waters even more by design. So
before, and I hate that I got fooled by the Krasensteins on April Fool's Day when they said that they were getting off of X. I was excited. As someone who loves laughing at the ridiculous things that they say, I wept. But as someone who hates misinformation and grifters, not really hates, but strongly dislikes and wishes they would stop their grift, but then they would stop making money. And then, you know, what would they be doing? Selling car insurance? From the look of them, probably. Or he has this realtor license. It's not realtor, it's realtor. Who cares? Ed Krasenstein says, I wish Charlie Kirk was alive to see this. A black astronaut, Victor Glover, piloting the Artemis II and doing it better than a white dude could. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You clearly are too stupid to understand, Mr. Krasenstein, what Charlie Kirk was actually saying. Oh my God. Yeah, and then someone named Moron Finder said, you wish Charlie Kirk was alive to see you're a racist. He already knew that. The only reason why this man is flying to the moon is because he clearly has a set of skills needed to be there, not because the color of his skin. The only racist here is you. So Krasenstein gets on being, oh, look at that, a black fella did something. That makes you a racist. You should be in awe that we're going to the moon or whatever, or wherever the fuck we're going on this one. I think we're going to the moon, and then they're going to just like stretch out a little bit further and then come falling back to the earth or some shit. But that should be what we're focused on. We should be focused on that. But these people, they hate that they're going to the moon. And when I say these people, I mean the Krasensteins and their ilk. They hate that we're going to the moon. They hate that we're doing anything besides feeding into social programs, which do nothing for the growth of humanity. Blah. And by growth of humanity, I mean our evolution as a species. I do not mean population growth, because anybody can fuck. Anyway.
So to
Continuing
be clear,
on with this dumb bitch.
For the sake of the country, we have to stop anchor babies.
Hey, you're from Mogadishu and call me crazy, but you can't live here because of an anchor baby. Our laws and birthright are abused insanely, so stop the number of anchor babies.
And this,
I'm pretty sure they make these in a day or two. That's not bad for a day or two.
This is one of those things that generates normalcy bias in a way that, frankly, is unprecedented. You'll see this a lot, for example, that everyone votes. And if you say, like, actually, you know, the 19th Amendment is a problem, not because of women voting, but because we were a representative republic, and the republic was supposed to represent those who are building and sustaining a country. It has not been the norm that everyone who lives within the borders of a country gets a vote, that their vote is the same if you are actually taking benefits, social welfare, not contributing, not paying taxes, not willing to serve your country. It's a very new thing. You've grown up under that, so you think that that's how it's always been or how it's always going to be. That's not the case. Same thing with this idea of anchor babies, to use the colloquialism. that if someone is born here, that automatically makes them a citizen and gives their parents a pathway. That has never been the norm historically. It still is not in any European nation. You just think that because you've been told that, and since some people have abused a loophole, you assume it's the case. So if you were to listen to the left, you would believe, oh, born here, automatically a citizen.
Does it matter if your ancestry goes back to the Mayflower, or if you're first gen like myself, or somewhere in between? If you were born on American soil, you're an American citizen. Full stop.
Nope.
End of story.
For over 100 years, birthright citizenship has been enshrined as a fundamental right under the 14th Amendment. The language in the amendment is very clear.
There are 255,000 children born on America's soil, and I would say
it is so hard trying to hear Mazie Hirono speak. Everything she says is dumber than the last.
That most of them are probably not here because of tourism,
probably not, so you have no idea.
Tourism or whatever you call it.
In 1898, the Supreme Court held that
I love how she says probably. She knows nothing of facts. She goes from the gut. She knows the truthiness.
Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment guarantees citizenship to the children of foreigners present on U.S. soil.
Okay, so the court never actually ruled about children of illegals. To be clear, that is simply inaccurate. And let us disabuse you of some of these notions. Drafters of the 14th, you can take their word for it, or you can actually read from the people who drafted the 14th Amendment. They were clear it was never meant to give citizenship to everyone born on American soil. 1866, Senator Jacob Howard, one of the drafters, wrote this. Jurisdiction, as here employed, ought to be construed as applies to every citizen of the United States now. Gentlemen cannot contend that an Indian belonging to a tribe, although born within the limits of a state, is subject to this full and complete jurisdiction. So, it's pretty clear it was meant to be, these people are meant to be subject to the jurisdiction of the land. All right, okay. We'll move on here to Ketanji Brown Jackson because now it's a word war. President Trump has been saying, hold on a second, you guys are wrong. And his executive order on birthright citizenship was argued by the Supreme Court. Yes, Gerald?
It shouldn't even be contended at that point, though. You're saying, like, this is the easiest case. A Native American, essentially, an Indian on this land who we have treaties with and we give special protections to, is still not considered this, much less anybody else.
Right.
Like, that was the whole point of saying it like that, using that example.
Yes. Super clear.
And by the way, I think that in and of itself is wrong. I think as far as American Indians, they should be given the option at the very least. Beyond that, no. Birthright citizenship was there for freed slaves, and that was it. That was saying that people who have lived here their entire lives and for generations as slaves are now citizens was basically what they were going for.
I mean, I would argue super. You guys let me know. And you can check out the references. Please go read not only the 14th Amendment, but the opinions and the explanations therein from the drafters. Steelman it for me. Tell me how the left actually legitimately makes this case. Because here's the issue. We're not hearing the case being made in a way that is cogent at all.
No. It's all
from
emotions.
Current Supreme Court justices. Let's go to Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh, my God.
This judge argued that, and I think I understand what she's saying. You guys, and I mean this, explain to me if I'm missing it. She said that illegals have allegiance to the United States by virtue of breaking our laws, effectively. I think what she was saying, she compared to Japan. She said, if I'm in Japan as a tourist, right, and I steal someone's wallet, okay, so I'm subject to the law, and so would the person who steals my wallet. So I believe that her line of logic here is, in Japan or in the United States, the laws are there to protect the governed, right, the citizens. If you are
if she had any self-awareness, if she didn't realize that what she's saying was completely idiotic as she was saying it, or even not even what she was trying to say, which I will give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that's what she was trying to say. But, I mean, have you ever prepared a speech and you just decide you feel like you got a good flow going, and then you just keep going without looking at your paper, and then you come out saying something completely different, like a game of telephone once you get to the very end?
Visiting as a tourist, you are subject to the law of the land. Therefore, that makes you allegiant to that land because you're subject to the law?
It's hard to say because
I think
who the
that's
fuck
her
knows what she's
logic,
saying.
but you see what she said, and maybe you can explain it to me. Here.
I, a U.S. citizen, am visiting Japan. And what it means is that, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan, the Japanese authorities can arrest me and prosecute me.
True.
It's allegiance, meaning can they control you as a matter of law? I can also rely on them if my wallet...
Any country can control you as a matter of law. They usually, if you break a law in their country, if it's a minor law, and I'm pretty sure this is true of Japan, the which she's speaking, they fine you, usually heavily, and they kick you the fuck out. If it's a big law, then they'll throw you in jail like they did, or they'll throw you in jail just because you're Johnny Somali and you're make a living being horrible to people in other countries.
That is stolen to, under Japanese law, go and prosecute the person who has stolen it. So there's this relationship based on, even though I'm a temporary traveler, I'm just on vacation in Japan.
As she's saying temporary traveler, she sounds like those idiots who think that American laws don't apply to them, who were born in America, who were like children of people who were born in America. And they're like, no, I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
I'm still locally owing allegiance in that sense.
So, little wrinkle. Now do the law of deportation. Are they subject to that? Also, interesting that she used Japan as an example because
I think it was because she was talking to a woman named Wang.
Yeah, I know. She's like, Wang, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
She's
get
like,
it,
what?
Japan, right? I'm from
South
San
Korea.
Francisco.
Yeah, I know. I'm from the Bay Area. Interesting that she uses Japan as an example. The left often does, for example, when convenient for gun control. But they don't actually tell you how the Japanese deal with illegals who are subject to the law. And for the record, this is all, this original video, this is an illegal alien who is being sent back, I believe committed a crime. It's all in Japanese. So for those listening on audio, we dubbed all of it with 100% accuracy, and I mean that, it's not a joke, with the regionally appropriate accents.
See the property. He's tensing up. You don't have to tense up, okay? See the property.
Just so you know, that's them having fun with the actual subtitles. The subtitles aren't of them. They're just reading the subtitles.
Stop looking to the side. Face forward. Face forward. I said to sit properly.
Yo, shapeshifter.
I can't go back. Sit properly. Behave yourself. Just relax. Don't stand up. Someone sit on his knees. Okay. Oh.
And again, this is why countries like Japan have such low crime, is because they're allowed to manhandle you. Which, if you do the crime, whatever. If it's a heavy enough offense. But yeah, I want to go see the Mario movie tomorrow too, Shapeshifter. I might. My buddy said it was pretty good.
Okay. It hurts. You don't know. I'm not going back. Just relax, damn it. You're so stubborn. So stubborn, we keep telling you. My legs hurt, man. My legs. It doesn't matter. We're taking you. You're lucky. We even have a plan. We are taking you no matter what. Oh, are you sad? I don't want to change anything. I'm not going. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You will. Yes. Loosen up. You have so much energy. Why so energetic? You can do anything. Wow. I'm not well. You're so full of energy. You're the most energetic one here. Japanese mother.
Okay, so
that last one was
99% accurate.
Yeah, sorry. Commenter. Cannot wait to see Yoshi and Fox McCloud in the new Mario movie. No, me too. It's something they do. Accents are fun, and very few things. For me, there's nothing funnier than hearing 3 types of people cuss. Anyone with a foreign accent, old people, and other people's kids. That's the only people it's funny to hear cuss for me. Well, and like I said, anyone with an accent. But yeah, I mean, they were fun like I like making fun of French accents and German accents and all that as well. And then of course the British. You love making fun of the British. But yeah, it's just fun to make fun of those accents. But no, I'm really excited to see. I want to see, because they're putting Fox McCloud in this movie because they're supposed to be, one, setting up a Nintendo universe as far as movies go, and two, apparently there's a Star Fox game coming out this year, and I'm really excited to see. Hopefully it doesn't suck and they don't lock you into a really good game with a shitty control scheme that makes the game just awful if you're uncoordinated like myself.
To be clear, those listening audio, it matches these subtitles. And we have someone here who understands a little bit of Japanese. That was an accurate dubbing. Can you imagine if Ice acted this way here?
Yeah.
I like. Oh,
I would
Cry for us. You have a crap like a little growing boy.
You like a little baby. The plane thing is just so funny to me. You're lucky we have a plane.
You're lucky we have a plane.
What's the other option? Just dropping them in the ocean? They're an island.
Good luck.
Swimming.
Drop you in the ocean.
Turn you into Rita, anchor baby. Bye-bye.
Oh my God.
Anchor, don't go on the land. Go in the water.
Just imagine that. Imagine that here. Some guy sitting, looking, and he thinks, don't turn the face to side, sit properly. And they just crank his shoulder.
Shut up.
They don't tolerate it. They do not tolerate
They
it.
didn't curse, though.
No, they didn't. Well, actually,
Stop fighting.
Oh, that's right. He said,
Damn it.
yeah.
he got a little bit rattled.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really respect about another Trey Parker would be proud. Yes, no, I agree. That's one of the things I always respected about Trey Parker. He makes fun of Japanese people a whole lot, Asian people in general, but that's because he respects their culture so much. He loves samurais, he loves anime, he loves video games, he loves the whole, and then, their actual culture spot, but pretty much anything that comes from Japan he loves. And he speaks fluent Japanese. He has since he was a kid, apparently. Sorry, I'm a big South Park guy. Trey Parker specifically, but South Park also.
I mean, they don't have a god there.
Well, effectively. They do have a suicide forest. So, 3 things. It's a knockout. Three key things you need to know about birthright citizenship, okay? Number 1, the history here. So supporters of birthright citizenship, they claim that it's in the 14th Amendment, right? All persons born or naturalized in the United States. Here's the key. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Key detail, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And Donald Trump addressed this. This is an uncomfortable truth. This was more about children of U.S. citizens and freed slaves than illegal aliens, to be clear. This was not about illegal aliens whose loyalty is to their home country. They are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And I think the example that Ketanji Brown Jackson, again, since there are laws, and if you are visiting, you are subject to those laws, that means allegiance. Well, laws include deportation. Laws include legal immigration. That would be like saying if Notre Dame players, when you're in the big house in Michigan, you are now allegiant.
Yeah, I become a Wolverine when I walk on that field. It's like, no, I'm still fighting Irish. Like, what are you talking about?
You are subject to their rules there. You go to the locker room, they tell you, but you still have a Notre Dame jersey on.
We still go home.
Right. Someone who is here illegally, who is not a citizen here, is subject to the jurisdiction of another country. Could be Mexico, could be El Salvador, could be India, Pakistan, whatever it is. Regardless of whether their children, whether their baby is born here.
Yeah.
And so what happened is we just kind of stumbled into this system here of just giving citizenship to everyone born here. They just started issuing birth certificates to everyone born here in the 20th century. Now, keep in mind, at that point in time, they're like, oh, we have plenty of space. Sure. And then birth certificates were used as proof of citizenship to obtain things like social security numbers, things like that, which, by the way, today, though, they want you to know that no one who is here illegally could take advantage of our social safety net or our social benefits entitlement programs. And certainly no one here would be able to vote who was here illegally until we found out that a bunch of them had social security numbers. And that was kind of how it started. Number 2, key detail. The real problem here, like we said, is the birth tourism with anchor babies. You may not know. Did you know this? that 9% of annual births here in the United States can be attributed to anchor babies, birth, or tourism? Did you guys know that?
No way. Well, Hirono said that it probably doesn't even happen much.
No,
Right. So that's overlaid down later in the map, but I'll get to it. But President Trump wrote this on Truth Social, and it's correct, by the way. He wrote, birthright citizenship has to do with the babies. Sorry, it's correct. It's just tough to say.
Yeah.
Birthright citizenship has to do with the babies of slaves, not Chinese billionaires who have 56 kids, all of whom, quote, become American citizens, one of the many great scams of our time. China actually does have a birth tourism industry. You have 500 companies. The estimate is 1.5 million Chinese nationals have been granted or gained U.S. citizenship through this actual industry to be.
Okay, real quick. So there's someone on Facebook that I follow, and I didn't follow this person because I wanted to. I followed them because they kept popping up on my timeline, saying the most stupid things I've ever seen in my life, like on this one. Today is a good day to remind you, everyone, that Ivana Trump wasn't an American citizen until 1988. She gave birth to Don Jr. in 77, Ivanka in 81, and Eric in 84. If we're going to cancel birthright citizenship, deport them first. And that's the meme. And then in the comments section above, she said a whole lot of other stuff. Fact check. It is true that Ivanka was not a citizen when she gave birth to these three. Ivana, born in Czechoslovakia, became a naturalized citizen in 1900. Despite Ivana not being a Trump, because they were born under the 14th. Yes. But two things. One, she became a naturalized citizen. People are saying the same thing with Rubio because his parents didn't become citizens until he was like 3 or 4. Don't you think, one, Donald Trump was a citizen, so his kids born in his country, legal citizens. But then they go to Rubio because both of his parents came from Cuba, and they floated over on Rubio's ears. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they're saying that for him, and then his parents became naturalized citizens when he was like 3 or 4, I believe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, he wasn't born when they came over. I think she was pregnant and gave birth to him here. But they became naturalized citizens within 3 or 4 years of his birth, because that's generally how long the process takes at best. If you're doing everything right and trying actively to become a citizen, learn the language, so on and so forth, then yes, of course. This has never been against immigrants. This has been against illegal immigrants. And that's it. That's absolutely it. Understand what you're talking about. And I will say the reason I do follow this person now is because I've made fun of her so much by pointing out that she looks like that cockeyed cultist from the first episode, or from the first season of Family Guy. Hold on. I won't show her actual thing for anonymity, but cultist, first season Family Guy. Come on, show me that eye. Dang it. Okay, so you can't see her cockamamie eye. But hold on, maybe you can't see it there either. But like every time she would speak, her eye would just kind of go off to one side. That's what this girl looks like. And I love how everyone who's involved in cults always have either the dead eyes or the cock eyes. Anyway, sorry.
Be clear. China, in case you don't know, they take anchor babies to the extreme.
Oh my God. What's wrong with that one?
And it's a huge problem. Like I said,
you were not the only bad one.
Baby traditional use has been the anchor.
Where do you think the name comes from?
We're not like a China. We are Ireland China. We're not like a China because we're not an animal. We use our baby as anchor, not throw away on mountain.
China had that too.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's sad.
Yeah, why did you laugh when you said, sorry, it's
Nervous
sad.
laughter.
China mistake an ocean for bathtub. Oh, can't tell.
So it's a huge problem. Anchor baby abuse. 2023. You can bring this up. This is from Pew Research. 9% of all births were anchor babies. 9%.
That's wild.
And then just add to the mix, hey, two parents, that's used to basically anchor a whole family here. We're just talking about babies. Number 3. It's funny, Ketanji Brown Jackson just talked about Japan. They have unbelievably stringent immigration laws. But the left will always pick and choose. They'll go to Norway when it's convenient to say, see, these Nordic models, these socialist models, they've kind of worked, and they sort of ignore the fact that it's racially a monolith that's incredibly homogenous. They will ignore other facets where people, for example, actually don't get a lot of the social safety benefits until they've worked there for a while, or they're actually precluded from working. For example, people are dealing with this in Canada. So they always pick and choose when they're trying to tell you that America is actually not a great country. So in total, 33 countries do allow automatic birthright citizenship. None of them are European. None of them are nations that would be comparable to the United States. So a lot of these nations...
None of them are Japan, by the way.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Certainly not countries like Norway, Sweden. This is not... We are the only of our ilk who do this.
I love how they use Australia. Who the hell's gonna get there to have a baby? It's surrounded by water. Like, okay, you're gonna swim across that
And
ocean?
it has to survive the snakes and the saltwater crocs.
Like, yeah, if you get born here, you get to stay.
Yeah.
You'll die.
And here's the deal. You guys know this. Birthright citizenship is...
We don't have a lot of Fosters here, but we do have Fosters, Australia for beer. Sorry.
Killing our culture, and Congress has done nothing about it, to be clear. They just go, well, people kind of accept it now, so it's okay. Yeah, but it's not, though. It's not okay anymore. It's certainly not okay when you look at the jobs added for foreign-born citizens versus native-born citizens. It's certainly not okay when you look at the percentage of people who don't speak English. Look, someone coming here and going through the process and taking their naturalization oath, and I know this, I have family members who have done it, and I have plenty of friends, colleagues, lovers who also have had to go through it. They have to show some semblance of understanding, appreciation for America. That's not always the same thing. Certainly when people just go, oh, by default, I have a baby here, so I'll get around to it when I get around to it. It's a way of gaming the system. It's a way of reaping the benefits of a system that exists without actually contributing. The left wants you to believe it's always been this way. It hasn't. So it should always be this way. It doesn't have to be. You comment. What was Ketanji Brown Jackson saying? Because when people will say intelligentsia, well, Democrats are more intelligent, they're talking about that.
They've been, more of them have been to college, yes. Going to college, especially if you have some kind of bullshit degree, unless you're going to become like an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. And even some of them are ridiculously stupid. I know some lawyers. They're not bright people. Not by default. There are bright lawyers. There are really, really dumb lawyers. And it doesn't necessarily have an effect on how much they make. But, and this is one of the things, and this is the reason why I'm so strict on the left, because I still consider myself to be of the left, okay? I'm left of center. I'm a live and let live guy, even now, to an extent. Like, I don't get on you. You can go by whatever pronoun, and if people know you, then they should go by whatever pronoun that you want them to go by. People in my personal life, especially if you're passing, I will only do the main two pronouns. I will do he, I will do she. I will not do they, them. I will not do any of the stupid made-up ones. I will certainly not do the really stupid ones like clown self or fish self. I've had a couple of those. But I respect religions all equally, even though some of them promote all kinds of horrific things. Yeah. you have to have respect for people in general, and you have to understand that people don't have to like you. They don't have to approve of you, and you don't have to approve of them. But that doesn't mean, and this goes in either direction, whether it be the left or the right, you do not get to dictate how someone lives their life as long as they are not breaking the law or hurting people physically. Yeah, it's insane. And just seeing people, I don't know if they're maliciously misreading these laws, but the people bringing up people who are currently citizens, who were well on their way to become citizens at some point in their life, to say that their kids should be denaturalized and deported because they weren't citizens at the time of the birth. I love how the left turns into the racist that they accuse the right of being when they don't understand an argument. They don't understand the term illegal because they've called them undocumented for so long, and no person can be illegal, and now no person can be illegal on stolen land. All land is stolen. You think there weren't land disputes between Indian tribes back in the day? Fuck off. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know if people are purposefully doing this to try to paint conservatives as idiots. It really just makes themselves come off as idiots, especially this person that I follow on Facebook. I'm sure she's a lovely person. She's probably not. She looks like a spoiled rich sow. Anyway.
Talking about her statement regarding Japan. Does anyone here think it's anything other than nonsensical? The law has to be clear. That's what we are attempting to do right now. Hey, if you're still watching this, you may be one of the 6 million or so subscribers on.
All right.
In this case,
and then so we had the good, we had the bad, and now we have the tardy. More specifically, Minnesota. Look, I know it sounds awful talking about a whole country or whatever. We're not talking about a race. We're not talking about a religion specifically, although a lot of the ones that come here are of a certain religion. We're talking about a nationality. It is a fact that the average IQ of Somalia, not Somaliland, but Somalia, is 67. The legal retardation IQ is below 70. I'm just saying. Anyway, continuing.
Somalia is just terrible. A lot of people say it's the worst country anywhere in the world. They have no money, no nothing. They have no government.
And then cue the outrage, said yesterday. And then cue the outrage. One coming from the left and the dissident, the horseshoe right, the don't vote right. And then the other just outrage from.
And when he says the horseshoe right, he's talking about people who I really don't like Candace Owens. He's talking about Tucker Carlson. He's talking about, who else? Megyn Kelly of late. Nick Fuentes, who sometimes is the voice of reason amongst these people. Because all the people I named before him will blame Israel for everything. Every single thing. And Nick Fuentes is just sitting here like, guys, that was clearly not. It was these people. It wasn't the Jews this time. So when he's the voice of reason for these people, you know that they're deeply unhinged. But yeah, it's basically people like that. And you see people like the Hodge twins and Blair White starting to drift in that direction. And it's sad, really.
The left, period. Now, I understand when I heard him say this, I said, okay, this is the argument. They're going to pounce on that because of the optics. He was discussing daycare. He was asked about it. And he said that we couldn't afford it because we have other things going on, things like wars, etc. And I knew that people were going to say, see, our payments are going to Iran. Mm-hmm. Let me just present my perspective. I certainly don't believe in nation building. I certainly don't believe in forever wars. That's why I said give it 3 months, and then I will determine my final opinion on Iran. Okay. But I never want to make the argument we shouldn't protect the United States or we should never engage in any type of conflict because that money should go to entitlements. That's why I don't share the same outrage. So here's what he said, and then I also want to maybe illuminate something that people are missing that I think has been highlighted by the Strait of Hormuz and the Iran conflict. Cue clip.
The United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. We have to guard the country.
And to be clear, we've shown you this pie chart before. Entitlement programs make up, it's the single biggest line item as far as our spending. Okay? Yep, military's pretty big, not as big as entitlement spending. Also, for those of you who say, hey, school should be a state issue if you're conservative, right-leaning.
Sorry, hold on real quick. Okay. So I appreciate this. Okay. This is presidential. And I'll give flowers where they're due. Barack Obama said, "It was inspiring to watch the Artemis II launch yesterday, NASA's first crewed mission around the moon since 1972. Our space program has always captured an essential part of what is meant to reach out beyond what we thought was possible. And I hope the 4 brave astronauts on this mission will inspire a new generation to follow in their footsteps." That's very presidential. That's what you should say in this situation. He's basically the only person on the left saying this. And I, again, flowers where they're due. Respect. Good on you, Mr. Former President.
MAGA, which I am. That's perfectly in line with what we've.
By the way, his first term, he's the only president I've ever voted for. I was torn between him and McCain, and I learned that Palin was a retard before I found out that Biden was a retard. Unfortunately, I didn't pay enough attention at the time because I was deployed to find out that Biden was a retard. I found that out on the second election, which is why I didn't vote for anyone, because I thought the other guy was awful too. I don't know what it is about the parties. Like when Bush went up for re-election, they put him up against John Kerry, one of the most idiotic human beings in the world. They made Bush look smart. And then they put Obama up against, oh God, the guy who was a senator from Utah. Big wuss, said he had binders full of women or something, and that was the nail in his coffin. I can't think of his name, but he's pussy.
Always believed. To say this is a problem, take away the obfuscation of Iran equals no daycare. Do you really think the federal government should increase taxes across the board and you should pay an increased income tax, for example, in Oklahoma to pay for daycare in Mamdani's New York? Because he just promised it to all municipal employees.
Right. Yeah, exactly, because the states have different economies.
Yes.
They've got different cost of livings. It's all dependent by state. You can't be making somebody who's...
And different priorities. Some states that are more traditional maybe say, hey, you know what? We actually don't want to hand over children to the state. We want to provide parents with more options, so maybe some tax breaks, some tax credits. Maybe we can create an environment within our state where more people can stay home with their children. And by the way, some states have done that. But here's something else. Because people point and they go, see, our payments are going to Iran. You know who else wouldn't be able to pay for daycare? All the nations that leftists and the horseshoe right point to in Europe if they had to defend themselves. So, unless you start with the premise that there are no threats ever globally, that there are no evil actors, there are no people who actually want to harm us, and everyone's actually okay with the Western world, you have to take into account the EU spends 2.3% collectively, this is a general estimate, on family, child care benefits. That's about $425 billion a year. Contrast that with their defense spending, $396 billion a year. Hey, if all of them have to meet their NATO requirements, guess what? No more daycare. The only reason they haven't is because we protect the free world. Now, I know, and I agree, there's a good case to be made, and I have made it, that we shouldn't be in NATO. We shouldn't be protecting the free world. But it's become very clear European nations aren't going to do it. They are the ones who need the Strait of Hormuz secured. I know people will say, well, if we didn't get into this conflict, there would be no issue. Do you really think that at no point Iran would cause a problem there? And do you really think that the EU would be prepared to deal with it, or would they be sitting there with their hand out in front of the United States, as they have done through NATO for decades?
Yeah.
So because these nations don't spend on daycare, don't spend on the military, they can spend on daycare. Germany, they declared internet a fundamental human right. Protect your own country. Go.
It's a human right, but in Germany, they can arrest you for talking negatively about politicians. Not threatening to kill them, but talking negatively or making fun of them because it is on there forever and you cannot do this. Okay, if you say something in person, it's done after the moment happens unless someone records it. But if it's online, it's there forever.
Changes everything. That's the message.
I need to be slapped.
That I would like to see. So let me give you. Here's also another report. If they were to replace the United States forces in Europe, meaning if we said, you know what, you're on your own. You don't have our forces. So you got to make up that gap. You have to get it somewhere. They're spending $400-something billion a year on daycare. You know what the cost would be? $1 trillion. It would take 25 years. There goes their daycare.
What about this crazy idea? Crazy idea. U.S., I'm okay with protecting the world, doing, helping them out when they need it, but you got to pay us.
Yep. How about that?
You got to pay us. You got to do something.
Oh, and if you don't let us use the bases that we've been paying for, France, Spain, you now owe us a fine.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, the U.S. federal government already spent about $29 billion a year on child care subsidies. So it's not nothing, to be clear. And I think that should largely be nothing. You can't be conservative and also want to see the large welfare state that has single-handedly created and encouraged, fostered the culture of baby mamas. There's an incentive for people to have children, not get married, avoid a nuclear family so they can get those subsidies.
Some people do it while living together.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll go, hey, we have kids, we're still together, but let's not get married because if we get married, then I can't keep these benefits.
Right? And then it's a vicious cycle because it continues, and they're more likely to separate. They're more likely to need the support. In principle, absolutely, military is the most important, probably the most fundamental role of any government. Right? Is to keep us safe. That's the purview of the federal government, both from internal, external threats. Got it. Giving you all the things that you want paid for is not. Yeah. It's not. So it really does pain me to see conservatives saying this is betrayal. Take away the Iran thing just as far as that dynamic going either Iran or daycare. Okay, apply it to any other nation. Either safety or welfare. They've opted for welfare. They cannot keep themselves safe. It's not possible. And I don't want to see that grow anywhere here in the United States.
No. And I mean, basically the point Trump is making is like, hey, don't grow the size of the federal government by making this a federal government issue. This should be a state issue for you guys to determine. Right. You can raise taxes for it or not raise taxes for it. The right should be all over that and be like, yeah, we don't want the federal government getting bigger. Right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
X $100 billion for Iran. It's like, okay. But that's not always the case.
Yeah.
States' rights.
And guess what? Not everybody has free daycare, and it's horrible, and public schools suck. It hasn't worked.
Stay-at-home mom, screw the daycare thing.
Yeah. Before this conflict, people were going, public schools suck, and kids should be able to stay at home. Now they're going, see, Iran is taking money, so I can't have daycare. Well, you know what? I shouldn't be paying for your daycare.
No.
That's my opinion. Here's the next point that generated controversy. He discussed Somalis, rightfully so. Apparently, statistics are racist, but I understand why people would say it's racist. I still support it anyway. It's time for Eye on Somalia.
That's not the captain.
Sure. I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
All right, listen to his comments here. Boy, there is a crap storm on social media over it.
How about in Minnesota? They come from Somalia, but they come from all over. They're all crooked in Minnesota.
China, Somalia.
The attorney general's a crook. He's a thief. Terrible guy.
Crap, sorry.
All stupid, crooked people, and they came in from, in this case, Somalia is just terrible. A lot of people say it's the worst country anywhere in the world. They have no money, no nothing. They have no government. They have no police. They just shoot each other all day long. It's just pure bedlam. Probably the worst, most dangerous country. We have some beauties. They go to Minnesota, and they stole $19 billion. $19 billion. And they're low IQ. Generally, I mean, I can generalize. They're low IQ people. They're bad people. They have 94% unemployment. In other words, they don't want to work. You know, a lot of jobs available, right, with the economy. They don't want to work. Why would they work? And they sold more Mercedes-Benzes than any state in the union because they come here with no money. And they go out, they love a Mercedes-Benz, and they go out and buy Mercedes-Benzes.
Okay, so people outraged. Again, if you listen to this entire sort of, I guess we would call it, what would be press junket? It wasn't a speech. He was just talking to the press. The theme was states' rights, was what's the appropriate role of the federal government, because he talked about Minnesota needs to clean this up. They need to do something. Yeah. This state is crooked. People are really mad because anytime you touch on IQ, they go, that's a racist trope. Here's the truth. The average Somali IQ is 67. Mental retardation is 70 or less.
Retard alert!
That principal would need to get a whole lot of action to get your kid in that school.
67. That's really bad.
Well, that was a Forrest Gump reference.
You could say it might be higher for Somali Americans because of malnourishment over there, and sure, okay. It's still by any metric that you can use low IQ, and he's right.
It's
they
mostly
don't work.
due to
they don't contribute.
incest.
They don't contribute to the state, but they take.
There's a cultural element to that too.
Yes.
Also, rape wasn't illegal till like 5 years ago in Somalia.
Not just like, oh, you're from Somalia, that means you have a low IQ. It's not just that. It's, oh, you're from Somalia and you have a culture of incest, malnutrition, whatever. The incest thing is the main one for me.
Yeah. Generational incest, by the way.
Yeah, it's been happening for years. That's the biggest one for me. I'm sure there's other elements contributing, but that's the number one.
Just to be clear, there'll be one person.
Bring that here.
Actually, incest is a myth, and I understand. one incident of incest, the birth defects are increased from normal, but not as much as you've been told, but it compounds with each generation, and it's generational incest, not just in Somalia, but almost all Islamic countries.
And then you bring that culture over here, and it's okay to do it, so we do it. And then we got to take care of the mentally retarded people because, I mean, that is something that Social Security covers.
Right.
And it should, but not when it's being brought from another culture who's making it.
Yes, you
like
don't.
They're not purposefully, but kind of purposely making it.
Look, he can't say this. Here's what I will say. It is like importing millions of people from an actual retard-making factory. And saying we are importing them because, and to be clear, it's not a race thing. The retard-making factory is generations of incest with no interest in changing it and bringing them here knowing that they just left the retard-making factory and stuffed it in some packing peanuts and a box. That's Minnesota.
Thanks for saying that. I was dancing around it. I appreciate it.
I get it. Speaking of incest, he also mentioned Somali congresswoman and professional brother lover. That is a fact, Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar, who married her husband, married her brother. Her brother became her husband. When she has to check a book, she says, any brothers? One. Any husband? One. So on top of everything else, she gets a double income tax cut. She's a stone cold crook, and everybody knows it.
And here is the problem with the media. Here is the problem with the institutional left. If you are more outraged at him saying Somalis have low IQ, if you are more outraged at him pointing out that Ilhan Omar, and you can see the marriage certificate, we've shown it to you many times, married her brother, if you are more outraged about those statements than mass importing Somalis and the fact that Ilhan Omar married her brother, that means you don't have an objective bone in your body. And you're not looking out for the American people.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. We don't need to spend much more time on it. The outrage is silly. Also, by the way, the only other company, if you want to be healthier, if you don't want to be from the retard-making factory, hey, a good multivitamin helps. It's the only other company that I own that I've created, Foundation. You can go to foundationdaily.com, get 40% off. It is a multivitamin with clinically effective ingredients at their clinically effective doses, completely transparent labeling. And it's what I've been taking for years, and I have to take it in all these other pills. Basically just a multivitamin, vitamin D. It's the best one in the world. I will tell you that. Hey, did you know this? We've gone back to the moon.
Sort of. Back.
Kind of.
Back.
I mean, we're doing a flyby.
I know. Okay.
And we're not there yet. We still got to make a rotation around the Earth, and then.
Are we on a set in California again?
Whoa, that was.
Allegedly.
I like making fun of people who say we faked the moon landing. Sorry.
You were that.
Way to kill the momentum.
It's your show. Go.
We'll see. Gerald's.
Josh did it too. Because I know that people.
I just had your back because you're the CEO, and I wanted to have your back.
Yeah. People in the comment section are going to be saying that. You don't need to say it for them. By the way, you are free to leave those comments. 11 a.m. Weekdays. Hey, do you like what you saw?
All right. Real quick, just a couple of things. Here's a video of someone getting in a fight with a bus driver while the bus is in action. Like, why would you do this? One, it's cowardly to hit someone who's sitting down, actively driving. And cowardly and incredibly stupid and selfish. You let your pride get ahead of the lives and safety of all these people. It's absolutely insane. And I'm sure this was over something stupid or just cuz, whatever. And then I haven't watched this, but it's interesting because this says peers get destroyed, and then the caption over it says Destiny gets destroyed. Let's see what happens.
Do you give Trump any credit for reducing the number of illegal people coming over the southern border by 96% in 3 months? Yes or no?
It's a strange question. Like,
not really. It's a very simple.
It kind of is.
It's a very simple, factual question.
If you had cancer of the brain and I cut your head off, would you give me credit for getting rid of the cancer? I mean,
Wow.
I guess. I mean,
You
illegal
don't
immigration
think
has
it's, you don't think
definitely
it's an achievement?
illegal immigration has definitely decreased. All of our tourism has decreased. If part of the reason why the immigration or illegal immigration has decreased is because nobody wants to come to this country anymore because they can see it's turning into a massive shit show. I mean, does he get credit for that?
Okay, that's something that Destiny posted, thinking that he destroyed Pierce Morgan. Look, I used to have a lot of respect for Destiny until... And I kind of feel bad for the guy because when his former wife, who he had an open relationship with, left him for the other guy, I kind of felt bad for him. And then his son came out as a white supremacist who hates him, and I felt bad for him again. And then he starts posting stuff like this where he makes nonsensical arguments. Like, our tourism isn't down a whole lot, and the only reason it is down isn't because Trump shut the borders down. It's because crazed lunatics like him have taken to the streets. They've allowed crime. They've let people out who have done horrible, like the Irina Zarutska situation. It is not in a bubble. This is in many, many, many major cities, and it's multiple people. They keep letting people. There was just a video that came out in Seattle. Let me see if I have it, actually. Keep it pushing. Yeah, here. ABC News. This is Seattle. And this is common. This happens everywhere that there are trains. This guy was just waiting, and this guy has been arrested multiple times. Tries to push a guy in front of a train. Again, cowardly. This is not him robbing this person. This is him only wanting to end a life, pushing someone in front of a train. This is cowardly. This is evil. And I don't like using the word evil for a lot of things. But normally I can see like, oh, okay, he was trying to get his money, and then the guy put up a fight and he shot him or stabbed him or whatever. I can usually try to, my former hardcore liberal brain takes effect. There's no upside to this. This is just mayhem. This is just murder. There is no upside to this. This isn't a man who's hungry, who's trying to do anything, or any of the other spin that the left will put on things. This is murder for the sake of murder. This is ending a life to feel powerful or whatever. Fucking see, I'm doing it again. Or whatever reason. But stuff like this is commonplace. This happens all over the place. Well, it's not necessarily true. It mostly happens in blue areas. It'll happen in red states, but only in blue cities or blue districts. Or nearby, because they'll expand out to go to red districts, and then they'll usually get disappeared. Because if you try this in a small town, it's not just a saying. My God, you'll get taken care of. But it's horrible. It's horrible. And yeah, again, both the Krasensteins posted this, and the right is congratulating all the brave men and women of this mission. The left is like, see, Charlie Kirk, black people and women can be astronauts. Fuck off. Yes, they can get ahead based on merit-based systems, but you can't just promote people because of their race or color. It has to be merit-based. No one said that anyone who isn't a white male can't do these things. They just said if you shift it to where you have to have this percentage by this deadline, and the deadline is a few months down the line or within the same year or even couple of years even, you can't do that without sacrificing something, usually public safety, when it comes to certain jobs like flying a plane. I don't, and this is why I will never be a conservative, but I can't deal with the left anymore. They have lost all reason. They've made the right seem rational, which is something that 20-year-old me, never thought would happen. But that's it for me today, guys. I got to get, you guys have a fantastic day. This has been Alfie Animus with the Associated Guests signing out. Have a good one. We'll